Welcome to the channel. Please subscribe, please like, please share the information. We need to appease the nosy algorithm of these wicked and mean YouTube streets out here, family. Without any delay, going to go right on into it. We have a PBS article here, and it reads, Zuckerberg says, Mark that is, from Facebook, the CEO, Zuckerberg says the White House pressured Facebook to censor some C19 content. I don't want to say the word all the way. Some C19 content during the pandemic. That's nothing new. We were fully aware of this here on this side of the channel. Mark has taken upon himself after 4 years to speak openly and to confess this before the public. We're going to take them off the table for a moment, just for a moment. We're going to ignore the fact that she does not have any posted policies. We're going to ignore the fact that she has refused to do any press conferences, and she's only has done one sit-down interview with her vice president running mate adjacent to her, and an edited video by CNN. We're going to ignore all that momentarily. And we're even going to momentarily, well, at least until the next video, the immigration crisis, which is now confronting America. That will be titled The Illegal Immigration Invasion Part 4. Check my timeline. I've already outlined this over a year. The illegal immigration invasion. I labeled it as that. You can see the timeline. And I've already, regarding racial identity politics, I already said that she was a brown Brahmin from the Indian caste system, the oldest caste system in the world. And that's why I told you she actually does pretty well here in America, because she feels right at home in the second oldest caste system in the world, that being America. We discussed all of this. Notice I'm not saying anyone's name. You notice that? I'm not. Not right now. Later on. But the video which I did was 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. It discussed the brown Brahmin caste system. Now, with all that being said, take all that off the table, and I present one question, or one idea, or one notion, because conversation changes mentation. Conversation changes vibration. That's why it's always good to have a good faith-based or a good, open, and honest conversation, okay? Because it truly changes mentation and vibration. Let's talk about this. As I said, politics and politricks, racial identity, all those things off the table momentarily. Take it all off the table, and we're now going to just deal with one primary issue. And it goes right back to what Mark Zuckerberg was saying about the White House and the administration at that time and what they were doing. And they were putting pressure on him to not allow certain information to go forward. That was our biggest problem with that administration. So I keep asking, going back to this before whoever was pushing the JAB, whoever was mandating that it is needful, that it is a prerequisite to go back to work, to go back into society, whoever was pushing that so hard that it began to shut down businesses, companies, and corporations, that it began to terrorize the human family, particularly those in the American citizenry. Because if you don't have a job in capitalism, you don't have a car, you don't have a house, you probably don't even have a spouse. Your spouse will probably be quick to leave you without being properly employed in a capitalistic system. So they were terrorizing the majority of American workers with this JAB. No JAB, no JOB. So whoever was pushing that, I simply say, you are unqualified, unfit, and most undeserving to hold any political position or authority or power over anyone in the American citizenry. I make that very clear. Whoever was pushing the JAB, I say you're probably the closest thing to Beelzebub, Satan, Baphomet, Lucy, etc., etc. In a letter to Representative Jim Jordan, the Republican chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Zuckerberg alleges that the officials, including those from the White House, repeatedly pressured, quote unquote, repeatedly pressured Facebook for months to take down certain C19 content, including humor and even satire. He said you couldn't even make a joke about it. But truth be told, there was nothing funny about that pandemic at all, or plandemic at all. And then not to mention, I don't want to mention, but not to mention the massive misinformation they were putting upon my community. That's why I did the video, C19 was ageist, not racist. And I showed you who C19 was disproportionately affecting in America was actually the white community. And it's not because they were white, it's because they have the oldest population, not just in America, but they're the oldest population on earth. C19 was attacking the older people on this earth. And that's who got hit the heaviest. 67, 68% of the COVID deaths in America were Caucasian. There's no doubt about that. My videos have proven this. I proved this already. I'm just doing a recap. Because Mark behaved, just as his name states, as a mark. And he did not stand up for truth nor justice. He refused to even stand up for his own platform when they put that pressure on him. To his defense, he said later on in the future, if another pandemic comes down the pipe, we'll be more prepared, he said. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today, he said, without elaborating, being very vague. That's why I call him a mark. We're ready to push back if something like this happens again. The point being here ultimately is very simple for me. Whoever was pushing this undocumented, untested, unproven inoculation against this germ, this disease, whoever was pushing it, I find you most unfit for leadership. In fact, I find you to be criminal against the human family for trying to put that in someone's arm and then threatening their livelihoods if they did not do your will. You don't get much more sick and disgusting than that, in all honesty. And so we can take politics and politics off the table and come back to this one question. Whoever was pushing this, whatever party, whatever faction, whatever aspects, business person, politician, entertainer, athlete was pushing this particular jab and not speaking up for natural immunity, not speaking up for raising the immune system, not speaking up for holistic health, not speaking up for diet, losing weight, not speaking up for realigning the body and the spirit. Whoever was speaking up for this synthetic drug to save them, rather than the things which I just outlined. I repeat, like juicing, like taking herbs, like cleaning up your diet, like replenishing the body with water, like intermittent fasting. A long list of things we could have entertained, other than just quickly decide we're going to make Pfizer and Moderna filthy rich at the expense of the human's health, of the human's family's health. Okay? Because to my knowledge, the JAB did more harm. I'm speaking of allegation. The JAB did more harm than good. That's what I've come to understand. Not my point. Not my concern. Not my issue. Even the things we talked about, politics, not my issue. The thing I'm looking at is who had the authority and who misused and abused their authority amongst the American people to the point that they were going to basically did not care if they were going to poison them or not. That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm looking at. And I speak this to any Democrat or any Republican. Whoever told the bar that he gotta take the JAB, that's who I tell you, you better get the HELL away from me. Just that simple. You're gonna get the HELL away from me. So you make that decision for yourself. Which party, which faction, which persons, which entities was pushing it. And those are the entities, persons, parties, and factions that I choose to abstain and stay away from. If you don't understand that, then you will never understand the ways of the bar. But I want to talk about health nutrition. Because as Mark Zuckerberg says, next time we'll be more prepared. Will you be more prepared next time? Will your economy, your personal economy, be in better shape next time? Will your physical health and your mental health and wellness be better next time? Because right now is the time that we should be preparing for next time. You got me? Get it? Cool. That's the juice. We'll be back in the kitchen, pouring, stirring, all that good stuff. Okay? Y'all have a good day now. God bless you all, family.